loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. It's an honor to have you. If you're returning, welcome back. I have missed you. Today we are receiving messages from the soul. Messages in which I am offering once again REIKI healing energy to any and all who are open to receiving. Every once in a while we come across an event, an occurrence, a situation in our lives, and we find ourselves feeling broken and lost and alone and confused and uncertain. And it's in those moments that we need our soul the most, that we struggle the most to hear the loving words, guidance, acceptance that we most need from ourselves. I've had firsthand experience with the energy of Virgo season so far, and we're only 2 days in. By the time you watch this, we're going to be almost halfway in, or over halfway through Virgo season. And the energy of it, of Virgo seasons, and September, really. The energy and the experience that I can speak on, it's one that leaves wounds in so many people. It's a shattering of everything. When we wrong someone or wrong ourselves or someone wrongs us, it can be really hard to see beyond it, beyond that pain, beyond that moment, beyond the anger. It's in these moments that our soul comes forward to remind us that we're human, we're fallible, we're worthy of forgiveness. We make mistakes, we hurt ourselves and others, and we don't always know how to keep going, but our soul does. So this message is a mending not for the soul, but from the soul. We have 3 piles. Each pile has a different message from the soul to help mend a broken heart, a confused brain, an uncertainty of life, whatever it is. It's a mending coming directly from your soul. So I'm going to go ahead and put on some meditation music, some nature sounds. Give yourself time with your soul, your intuition, and allow yourself to be led to the message or messages that are right for you. As always, the timestamps will be in the description box below, and I will see you at your piles. Hello, Pile 1. If you chose the first card, the card of expansion, this is your healing message from your soul, intended to help mend any pain or wound within you. As a disclaimer and a reminder in case you skipped the intro, In this reading, I am channeling Reiki energy throughout it. I set the intention for the energy to reach those who accept it and are open to receiving it. If you're not, that doesn't mean this message isn't for you. That is perfectly fine. You don't have to accept it. If you do, please make sure that afterwards you ground yourself and you drink lots of water to help the energy and the healing to move any stagnancy through you. Okay, pile 1. With the card expansion and your tarot cards that are telling me the story of what happened, this expansion, it's intended to be a blessing. We don't always realize that when we're ready to expand our lives, that sometimes things have to break. Gay Hendricks talks about, in The Big Leap, talks about the upper limit problem, the glass ceiling that holds us down. And even that we have to shatter. We have to shatter the illusions that we weave for ourselves. Pains and wounds and ways in which we have harmed another, ways in which we have held ourselves back. All of these things that we don't like to see and we don't like to acknowledge. These levels of accountability. When we weave illusions about them not really happening or not existing or not being as bad as somebody else's interpretation or reaction to them, or we feel like our emotional reaction is out of proportion to what's occurring, we try to lessen it. Lessen the blow of the pain that we're causing, whether it's causing another or causing ourselves. That point of expansion means that there has been a contraction as well. It means that there has been a sense of suffocation, a sense of breakage. And so you had no choice. But that doesn't mean that what was crumbled from that singular point in time, that crossroads decision made, it doesn't mean that what tumbled didn't hurt, didn't matter. As much as it was meant to, it still hurts. It's still painful. When we go through these moments where we've woven these illusions about who we are, or what the situation is, or what our life is, or what our belief systems are, even if this is just about a spiritual awakening, that we just can't wrap our head around the fact that there is so much more out there than what we can see, what we can feel, what we thought was real. And all of a sudden, everything has changed now. Changed because the illusions that we grew up believing have now shattered. That doesn't make it any easier because we're sitting still in this wreckage. And as much as the promise is there, as much as we can feel that there is something coming, something positive that is going to result from this, the pain that we go through still matters. It still occurs. That tower still tumbles. That illusion still becomes reality. We still end up seeing what the truth is, and accountability faces us directly. We hit it head on and it says, hey, I'm right here. Are you going to take me or not? Are you going to hold me or not? Are you going to let me be a part of you or not? Sometimes we want that expansion so badly, but we don't want that accountability. We don't want that transparency and honesty because we don't think that we are equipped to deal with it. We don't know how to handle making mistakes or making choices that are harmful to ourselves and others. We don't know how to do that. Pile 1, it's not that you don't know how to handle these things. What your soul is saying is you came here to go through the really hard stuff. And sometimes the really hard stuff is stuff that we actually initiate ourselves. And that's really, it's a huge challenge to ask you to perceive this as a destined point in your life. This point in which expansion is possible means that you're standing in the rubble of everything that once was. Because to expand, you have to let go of how everything was. So you're standing in the rubble and you can want to go back, but your soul is saying you came here. You came here to expand. You came here to grow. You came here to learn beyond what you have learned. And in that moment, we have to look at our role in the destruction. No matter how large or small that is, there's no blame being placed on you. There's no shame being forced upon you. If guilt exists, guilt in and of itself is an emotion we carry within that shows us areas of which we can expand into being a better version of ourselves. So we have this opportunity, but we have to be willing to look at it. And sometimes we have to be willing to go into the dark. And when we go into the dark, it is that light of that full moon that really brings forth the truth. That's the saving grace, is allowing for that revelation, that internal understanding and revelation of all the ways that you can change and expand into something more whole. So as this wreckage occurs, you're at that point of expansion. It's again another crossroads point, and it's up to you to decide which direction you want to take. So let's get these messages of healing from your soul in moving forward from the wreckage into that expansion. Ambush fear with your ferocious dream. I love this. I love how the colors match as well. That was actually a message that I got prior to sitting down and reading this. Energy. It was all about this understanding that when we have this dream in our life, we have this image, this view of what our life is going to be. We want it to grow. We want to expand into that. And sometimes we can get really afraid of that. And fear can weave these illusions really beautifully that end up leading us on a path of utter destruction. I am one that is no stranger to the nature of self-sabotage. And I have to look at every action that I take when things get really hard to say, am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I helping myself or hindering myself? Am I here for myself or am I negating myself? Am I living through fear or living through love in the heart? If you have a dream for your life that involves this expansion, but in order for this dream to come forth, you have to face the illusions of your fear, these illusions that tell you this and this and this. You have to go through the tower. I'm sorry to say it that way in such definitive terms because I try very hard not to give definitive terms, but I am hearing so clearly you must go through the tower moment. The tower must fall. The damage was done well before the damage was seen and experienced, but it was already done. The tower had already fallen. And now just the pieces of it are becoming very evident. This is not to bring you harm or to bring greater levels of destruction, at least not beyond destroying the fear that holds you back from the dream that you have in your life. That's beautiful. We have you're already doing it. Stop thinking, keep facing your true north. All the colors flow so beautifully. I love this. And don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? So the tower, the reason why the tower has to fall is because if you look, all of the colors of these cards flow beautifully together. And then you have the tower that it doesn't match. It's one thing that just doesn't fit within this dream of expansion that you have. So face everything. Face it and know that this is all part of the greater plan of your life, the greater destiny of your life, your soul's embodiment through you in this life. It's to help you become who you're meant to be. And sometimes when we are in situations in our life, we end up making ourselves smaller because we don't want to lose the things that we have, but we realize the things that we have are suffocating us, drowning us, holding us back from this expansion. Why? Because we are so afraid that if we just let go, that we will lose everything and there will be nothing gained. But the tower that falls is everything that doesn't fit. It's everything that your soul didn't choose to keep carrying, to keep experiencing. Now is the moment of change, true change that will expand your life. Your soul is offering that here and now. I can see your soul like wrapping you in this energetic hug and letting you know nothing is as bad as it seems. Everything is just a starting point to make your dreams come true. You're at that starting point. Every day you wake up and make a decision, you're at that starting point. All you have to do is start. I love this for you. Pile 1, this is the message that your soul has for your mending. Remember to please ground and drink lots of water if you accepted the REIKI healing. I want to take this time to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your willingness to look these things direct on and work through them. Thank you for being that kind of person in this world. Thank you for being here for your soul. Thank you to your guides, to my guides, to the souls of the collective Pile 1, to Spirit, the Great Spirit, for connecting these energies, for allowing me to be the vessel of these messages, and for them reaching all that they are meant for. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Pile 1, it has been an honor and a true blessing to read this for you. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose the second card, Create Space, this is your message from your soul to help mend any parts that are hurting, broken, lost, confused. As a disclaimer, I am offering REIKI energy through this reading. You don't have to accept it if you are not open to it. That is not a problem. That doesn't mean that this reading isn't for you. The energy will flow through to any and all who choose to accept it. Allow this energy to flow through and flow in, and help this message to bring healing to your heart and your mind. Please remember to ground after the reading and to get some water. Drinking water and staying hydrated afterwards definitely helps the energy flow and helps the healing really take hold. So Pile 2, we have this card, Create Space. And the shadow of the Create Space is the 7 of Cups, and the context of it is the 2 of Cups. These are healing messages. So I get this sense that your soul has a lot to say. There's this theory out in the world that in order to bring something more into your life, you have to remove something because there's not enough space. Except that we live in in a universe of ever expanding space, ever growing, ever creating new. What this is really talking about is about creating the space to trust the choice that you've made for your heart. This particular Two of Cups, normally with a Two of Cups, I can read it in a much more open way, but in this one, it is definitely about love. This is about love. This is about you following your heart. And sometimes when we feel like we have all of these choices in life, we aren't really certain whether the choices that we make are going to lead us on the path that will bring us the love that we desire, the love that we seek, that we long for. Creating space, a lot of the time, it just means facing the things that we're carrying with us that we don't need to carry, that we can lay down, that we can place upon the ground to be transmuted by the earth, that we can allow for our guides and our ancestors to remove from us. There's this idea out in the world, this notion that love isn't easy, marriage isn't easy. And no, I don't think that those things are necessarily easy, but I don't think that they're easy because I carry trauma. I carry wounds around these things. In their purest form, they are. In their purest form, there is no second guessing and questioning whether you made the right decision, whether you chose a cup filled with poison or filled with blessings. There is simply your heart and what your heart desires, and that coming together of two hearts that resonate and beat to the same frequency. But when we go through certain things in our life, whether we are experiencing it in our childhood or we experience it through our relationships as we're growing, when we go through these things that paint love in a way that hurts, where choices that we make are up for question all the time, it can be tormenting. I just keep hearing, make space for your heart this time. We want to fall into another person a lot of the time because there is such a thrilling component to it. And it's in that we end up choosing things that aren't for the heart, but rather that just are a brief moment of experience. There is a great love for you. It might already be in your life, but it's about making sure that your heart feels safe enough to engage completely in that. Because if you protect your heart from it out of fear in any way, shape, or form, you're not actually protecting your heart. You're limiting its opportunity to have this unified place and space with another. So let's find out the healing messages. We're going to start here. We have fill your cup with sacred giggles, and magic happens when you most expect it. Life gets heavy, things get hard, and we forget that if we can just find a way to laugh, to enjoy it, to have fun, and especially in relationships, that's something that my husband and I have found is so healing for us, is we just laugh. We do dumb things and we laugh together. Even when we're angry with each other, when we find a way to laugh together, it is so fulfilling. Laughter is a sacred thing. Now, on the other side, this magic happens when you most expect it. This is saying that we look for magic in anything and everything when we feel like there is no spark left to life. But then we think, well, if I'm expecting it, I'm not going to find it. If I'm looking for it, it's not just going to be there. But what if magic is literally something that you should expect because it exists in such great abundance? If you create the space of healing, healing will transpire. Interesting. We have Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. I love that. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? Ooh, this is getting interesting. And trust the niggle. What is the niggle trying to tell you? Okay, all of this is saying this union, whether this is a union with you and your soul, a union with you and another person, a union with you and your higher self, whatever it is, this union, this coming together that you desire so much, that your soul is saying there's space here for it. I've created this space for it. Your heart is waiting for it, but your heart has to open itself back up. It's saying that you can sit there and you can face all the different temptations and options and doors and passageways and crossroad choices imaginable. You can sit there in front of every one of those cups in the Seven of Cups, and you'll always choose the one of your heart and your soul when you allow your heart and soul to guide you. When you allow that divinely guided guidance from those two to lead you forward, to step up and lead you forward to exactly the cup that is right for you, the cup that is meant for you to offer to another person. And that cup is you stripped bare, as intimate and vulnerable as imaginable. Every wound on display, every mistake owned up, everything, because that's the nature of love. Love doesn't care. It doesn't see those things, or it does and it heals them. It heals them through empathy, sympathy, compassion, and mercy and grace. And that is what your soul is here to tell you. You do deserve all of that. That is here for you. Make the space by letting yourself laugh, letting yourself see that it's possible to heal, to seeing the magic that is all around you all the time, and to trusting yourself, trusting your heart, trusting your soul, trusting these pieces that are so important, because you're meant to live a life filled with love. It's what you are here for, pile 2. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, trust the guidance of your heart and your soul. The space for love exists already. All you have to do is step into it. All right, my loves, this is the very brief but deeply healing and loving message from your soul. I am so deeply honored to be able to channel these messages for you. Thank you so much. Thank you to your guides, to my guides, to the Great Spirit. Thank you to your soul, the souls of the collective of Pile 2, for coming through and stepping firmly forward into that leadership role and bringing this all to light for the collective of Pile 2. May this healing flow as long as they need. May it help wash away any kind of shame or guilt or fear or hesitancy. May they feel that safety of unconditional love wrap around them, flow through them. Thank you. Pile 2, please remember to do some grounding exercises after this and to drink a lot of water. And I want to say one more time before I go, thank you so much for being here. You are an incredible soul, and you faced tremendous challenges And it is an honor to be able to bring these messages forth for you. Pile 2, I love you all. I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the third card, the card Healing, this is your message from your soul to help you mend. As a reminder, I am channeling Reiki energy through this reading. These are quick messages from your soul, but profound, and the energy is intended to flow until it no longer needs to. You don't have to accept the energy or be open to it in order for the reading to resonate. This may still be your reading, and it just may not be the time for you to accept the energy. Trust yourself and your intuition on that. For those of you who do accept, I do advise you to make sure that you ground when you're done and drink lots of water. All of that helps the healing to take hold and helps to keep a clean energy flow through your body. Pile 3. Yours is the only pile where more of the message wanted to be seen right away. I get the sense that there can be some hesitancy surrounding healing. Things we don't want to see, things we don't want to look at. It might take too long. When is it going to appear? When is any of this going to matter? And there's this card, it says, leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. I was talking to my mom this morning, and I was talking about a situation that I found out about last night that I'm tied to or entangled with because of the way that things transpired about 10 years ago in my life with the same two people, and it just was in a different form. And I told her, I said, for the first time in my life, I can genuinely say that I'm watching karma play out, and that I'm watching divine justice. I'm watching the actual representation of you reap what you sow. And it's not always in a positive way. And so we can be very hesitant about our healing, or we can feel like our healing is taking forever and like the universe doesn't have our back. And if we leap, we're just going to crash and burn. We can think all of those things because there are so many things that we don't see that are the workings of the universe. And that's really what your soul wants you to know is, yeah, it can feel like it takes forever. Guys, it took 10 years for me to be able to witness what's going on right now, that I can genuinely say I'm watching divine justice play out. And it took a decade. Like almost to the day, it took a decade. But when you're patient with it, when you cultivate the seeds of healing within yourself, all the things that we don't see, those are the things that the universe brings to light. Those are the things that our soul brings to light. Your soul wants you to know that this healing game, as much as it gets glorified out in the world, you already realize this healing game is not a game. It's a lifelong commitment that you make that says, I understand that I have wounds. I understand that I have brokenness. I understand that there are things, there are patterns and behaviors that aren't healthy for me, that aren't healthy for my connections, that exist because of the way that I was raised, because of the families that I was born into, because of the pains and the wounds that I have not worked through, the traumas that I have not worked through. I understand that all of these things exist. And so in order for me to put my trust in the universe, I need to know. And there are things that we just don't get to know. But yes, this healing game, it can feel like it's going to take forever, or we're never going to see the results of it. But I'm sitting here today with you, and I can tell you that the events that are transpiring in another part of my life, the unhealed version of me would have reveled in someone else's destruction. Why? Because they destroyed me at one point in time. And so I would have felt like, oh, let me ring my bell of shame you messed up and you finally know what it's like, what it feels like. But in all honesty, it's just very succinct of me to be like, no, this is karma playing out. You planted certain seeds. Now you're reaping what you have sown. But I know the destruction that it is. And so I have empathy for that. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. If you had asked me 5 years ago, I wouldn't have felt that way, but I had to take that leap, that blind faith jump, and let the universe lead me through all the different bumps and bruises and cuts and scars and scrapes that I contained within myself, the ones that I put in for myself and the ones that I allowed other people to inflict. Excuse me, I'm moving a lot of energy here with you guys. Wow, there's a lot here. Healing is not linear. It's not even in a circle. There are cycles and flow, and sometimes you move faster, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have a straight shot to something. Sometimes you have to go all over the map just to feel like you can breathe again. But the patience and the dedication to it is not for nothing. So let's get a little bit deeper. What's your honest truth and fierce serenity right here? Okay. If we don't face the truth of all of these things that occur in our lives, are we ever going to find the serenity within us? I don't know if any of you know what the serenity prayer is, but it's God grant me the serenity to change, I want to say embrace the change or change the things that I can, but it's grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Wow, I can't remember it off the top. I used to know it so well. Let's do a Google search. It feels very important. Okay. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What are the things that you can change and what are the things that you cannot change? What is your honest truth in all of this? If you've planted the seeds of truth and you sit and you tend to it, can you find serenity within yourself, this calm, peaceful understanding that, yes, I've planted these seeds, and yes, the healing journey is a long time, but there are so many things occurring outside of me that I cannot see, so I can step into trust. Can you step into trust? What is the honest truth about trusting the universe? Why do you feel that way? Serenity is intended for you. Fierce serenity says that you're going to take it no matter what. It's that notion of protecting your peace. I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to do anything and everything I have to do in order to ensure the fact that I will feel peace in my heart and my soul. I almost get the feeling like you're on that precipice of a new healing journey. But when you've done so many, it's so exhausting to even consider taking a third one or a fourth one or a fifth one or a sixth one or whatever number you're on. But it's here for you. It's offered for you in this moment. That is what your soul is offering. A mending of the fence between you and the healing journey so that you can heal things on a deeper level, so that you can live your truth, not just and identify it, but you can live your truth, because when you live your truth, you live in that state of serenity. You allow the universe to do all the things that the universe needs to do because you know that the universe is your partner in life. It's not working against you. It's not working anathema to you. It is here working with you. Your soul is ready for you to embrace it. And it will help you soar in new ways. But it's up to you to choose whether you're going to leap or not. It's in your hands. Your soul will always be ready and waiting for you. Wow, pile 3, what a beautiful message. I want to take this time to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Great Spirit, for connecting these energies. Thank you for allowing me to be the vessel. And thank you for the collective of pile 3. Pile 3, please remember that if you did accept the Reiki healing energy, to ground yourself, root yourself, and drink lots of water, get lots of rest, reflect on these messages. And I hope and pray that the energy fills you full for as long as you need. Thank you again for being here and for being you. Thank you for doing the healing work that you do for yourself, because the healing work you do for yourself heals everybody else. As always, it is an honor and a blessing to read this energy and to be the conduit for these messages for you. So thank you. Pile 3, this is where I leave you. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye.